Thomas! It's up for grabs now! Thomas!
Magic ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira!
Oh, would you believe it? Oh, right, what a way to get it!
Fabulous solo goal by Thierry Henry.
Champions.
Good evening, everybody. Very, very welcome to a special edition of the Arsenal Lounge. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. If you're out with the date already, enjoy it. And if you're watching this after, we hope you had a good time. And if you're watching live with us, join the club. How are you, Lev?
Sorry, it just makes me giggle. Just you just being all suave and stuff. I just wasn't expecting it. Nice segue into Valentine's and all that. Yeah, we're doing this show. I'm surprised you didn't go that extra length. We're doing this show despite Valentine's because we love you and we're doing this for Valentine's. Do you know what I mean? But I'm good. And those curtains now, all the chat group, those curtains signed by Shamak are now lucky curtains. They are lucky curtains. Forget about the board. The board don't do anything for us. But those curtains and the whirling dervish, they're the ones. Look at the performance. That's what I'm going to say.
It's the painting, I think, more than the curtain.
He doesn't want to lose those curtains. It's the curtain.
How are you, Mo? You good?
I'm good, man. You know, I think if we go back 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it might be, and we spoke about how we all feel about Arsenal, I think we would have been not talking in terms of love. But right now, the way things are going with Arsenal, and especially with our rivals, I think the Valentine's Day shows come at the right time because I feel like I'm enjoying it. I love when Arsenal play. I love seeing every single match day because right now things are going in our direction and I'm enjoying it.
Very good, very good.
He started all this loving, Shaheen. There's a love in the air now.
Yeah, there's always love in the air, man. Unless you come and mess it up. Yeah. By the way, Tom is not with us this evening. He's out he's doing his husband duties. He's had to go out on a date. So I spoke to him briefly to get his prediction for the little write-up.
So you interrupted the Valentine's date to get his prediction.
No, I asked him this morning.
I'm
considerate, Lev.
That reminds me, I wrote it all down, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. That's why I asked him because I know you write it down again. We're obviously broadcasting this through Mo's channel as well. So welcome to everybody who's watching on Mo's channel. Where should we start? Let's start with the Wolves game. Lev, what was your thoughts on the game?
Well, I'm torn now because, as you know, every game I've always predicted we're going to win. I predict we're going to lose for the first time ever, and we put in a performance like that. So do I stick with that? I don't know. Do I? But anyway, the fact of the matter is, the performance.
But you said we'll lose.
I did. Yeah. And you know what? Because it would have been a typical Arsenal thing to do. And you know what? It was the most untypical Arsenal performance I've seen in a long time. That was more typically the Invincibles era type performance. Not saying they're as good as the Invincibles, so don't jump down my throat. But what I'm actually saying is the gutsiness of it all. Like, we were in control of that game. And I love the game management by Arteta in that game. You have to give it to him. He managed it well. The players all reacted well to adverse situations. There were some poor decisions. There were some poor actions by our players. But some of the football was great. But then what really impressed me is the solidarity when the adversity came up, going 10 men down. You know, Martinelli up until that point for me was arguably could have been man of the match. He was phenomenal in the first half in particular. Like, we need more Martinellis, I was saying. But obviously he's still young. I'm not sure if it was a double yellow red. I've never seen anything like it. But the reaction by our team, phenomenal. I was really, really proud. And to see what Wolves did to them lot down the road only a few days later with a full team says a lot more about our performance. So, yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you. It was a sort of performance that I don't think any of us was expecting. I think the only person who predicted a clean sheet was me, and I went for a 0-0 draw. But it was a good performance at the end of the day, and we'll talk about the red card, obviously. see, we've said this many times on the channel before on the shows that yes, it was a good performance, it was a good result, but it will mean nothing if you don't build on it going forward. And obviously, we will come back to this later on the show about the opportunity we've got now with everybody flopping around us and we're doing well. We've got some games in hand and how we can use that. Mo, what about you? What was your thoughts on the game?
Well, the game wasn't too dissimilar to what I expected. You know, I think anyone that has watched any of Wolves this season know they're like very well organised. They're not very expansive. They don't concede many. They don't score many. That's Wolves in a nutshell. So I wasn't expecting a goal fest. I think that's reflected in the predictions. Well, I mean, Tom predicted Arsenal 3, Wolves 1, which was quite out there given Wolves games and the fact they don't score that many goals. In fact, it'd be interesting to see the last time Wolves were involved in a game consisting of 4 goals, or how many times that's happened since Bruno Lage took over. But the rest of us, I had 2 goals in it, 1-1, you had 0-0, Lev had 1-0 Wolves. So I think it went true to expectation. But, you know, it's funny because you never really expect a red card. You never expect your team to get a red card or even the opposition to get a red card. I think it's about time we started expecting it as Arsenal fans, because it happens all the bloody time. And Nev, you spoke about like the solidarity and the response when we went down. Well, they're sure well practiced enough to flipping do it, you know. And Liverpool away was an even better example because that was so much earlier on in the game against even better opposition, you know. So I kind of feel like actually, yeah, we are showing signs that we're actually kind of used to it, which is sort of like, I don't know whether I should be happy or really bloody frustrated about the fact that we're good at going to 10 men. We need to kind of cut that out. But obviously we'll talk about the red card, which I think will be you know, a very interesting conversation. But it wasn't, this weekend wasn't just about what Arsenal did. It's also about what all of our rivals didn't do. It was one of those ones that, other than Stan Kroenke flipping winning the Super Bowl, it was an absolute perfect weekend. So at least real football-wise, perfect weekend. And it really does put Arsenal in pole position. And I wonder whether that will change the dynamic in the minds of the players. Now they are going to be sort of the favourites with everything to lose, rather than, you know, other teams have got games in hand or we're not in pole position. Now you're in pole position, the pressure's on you every weekend.
Shaheen, sorry, mate. I'm mentioning that as well. What Mo's just said. Looking at the fixture list, is quite favourable. The next 2 or 3.
Well, you know what, Lev? You say this, and this is exactly what I'm going to come into now. If you look at the table now, we're 6th. Okay, so basically West Ham is 4th, 41 points, 25 games. Okay, then it's Man United, 24 games, 40 points. Then it's us, 22 games, 39 points. So basically, we've got 3 games in hand compared to West Ham, and we're only 2 points behind them. We've got we've got 2 games in hand against Man United, with 1 point behind them, and we've got a game in hand on Wolves, who behind us with 23 games and 37 points. So am I fair in saying it's up to us to mess up?
Well, I wouldn't say
ours to lose kind of thing.
Well, yeah, mathematically, it's in our hands now, right?
And you're talking about the fixture list as well, which is
it's in
we've got Brentford this Saturday. We should be beating Brentford at home. Then we got Wolves at home. Then again, I would expect to beat them at home. Having said that, Wolves will be proper pumped up for the game, but I would expect to beat them. And then tell me your thoughts.
I mean, look, the perception about Arsenal is changing. The way that other fans are looking at us is changing. They're starting to take us more seriously. It was only, I think it was it Goldbridge on United Stand? He was saying something, and it was quite legit as well, what he was saying. If you look at what Man United have been through, and you look at some of other teams, what they've been through with their management side, at least with Arsenal, one thing I can say in Arteta's favour is there has been development. And a gradual development, and he's also had to get rid of a lot of dead wood, and there's been a process there, and it's been a continual process where these guys have been chopping and changing. They now see us as favourites. Goldbridge was saying he sees us as favourite for top 4. what does concern me is whether or not that mentality may change with a little bit of pressure. We're going to have to see that.
Well,
but
Lev, you talked about fixtures, right? So we've got Liverpool at home to play.
Yep.
Leicester at home to play. This is not in order, by the way, right? We've got Chelsea away, West Ham away, right? And apart from these, and Man United at home, sorry, right?
And Tottenham.
And apart from these, it's
and Tottenham.
Everybody is bottom half of the table.
Shaheen Mo saying something.
Sorry,
And
man. I was just reading off something else. Go on.
And Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham, which is a game that needs to be, but I don't really count them as a big team. So,
but
I expect us to beat them because they're not on a.
Well, next game is Brentford at home, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, Brentford is at home. Let me just read out this super chat. Wayne, thank you very much for the super chat, brother. As always, very kind. Big up yourself, Shaheen. I would like you to keep predicting losses. We seem to win when you do, or it was Lev who predicted it. It was Lev, actually. I predicted
for the
draw.
first time ever. So let me know in the chats, right? Despite this game we're playing, should I be just keeping on betting against us so we keep winning? I don't know.
So, Mo, seeing that fixture, we've got 3 games in hand as well. Is this notion right that it's ours to lose? And are you now expecting us to get top 4?
You know, with the
considering the January transfer window, we're short up front, all of that.
Yeah, look, first I'll talk about the games in hand, because Arsenal fans were sitting there like wise, experienced football fans talking to other teams when their fans were saying, we've got games in hand. And we were all saying the mantra, better to have points on the board than games in hand. Yeah. And now the situation's flipped, where Tottenham are worse off now having played their games in hand than they were when they had them, you know. So
very Spursy,
and now we're the team actually with games in hand. There's no team, if I'm not mistaken, I'm just going to look at the table. Yeah, no team has played less games than us in the league, other than Burnley, who were rock bottom. So forget them, you know, in terms of who's going for that 4th spot. So Tottenham have played the same number of games as us, but they're 3 points behind us. Now, where games in hand matter is where I feel like the pressure is not there to have to go and win every single game in hand that you've got. If it's one game in hand, you're talking about one victory. That's sort of like, you're not counting your chickens too much, right? It's pretty feasible that you can go and win one game, depending on who it's against. But what I'm saying is that we're 1 point behind Man United. We're 2 points behind West Ham United. We've got 2 games in hand on Man U. We've got 3 games in hand against West Ham. So I feel like if we were 8 points behind West Ham with 3 games in hand, I wouldn't be talking about the games in hand, because there's a lot to do to get the 9 points out of 3 games in hand. But this, to me, looks more probable than not that we will, after having played our games in hand, be ahead of them both in the league. So that naturally means we will be in pole position, or we should be in pole position. You can turn around and say, effectively, yes, we are in pole position.
But do you expect us now, Mo, to get top 4?
Yeah, so that's the next thing I was going to come on to. You know, after the transfer window, I did not think we would get top 4. I thought we'd finish like 5th or 6th, right? Now, when I look at our rivals, I'll be honest with you, for me, the biggest threat to top 4 was Man United, not Tottenham or West Ham or Wolves. It was Man United. Because their squad, every time I look at their squad, I think to myself, man, you should be challenging for the title. You finished, did they finish 2nd last year? If I'm not making that up?
Yeah.
And then they added Varane, Ronaldo, and Sancho. And I think to myself, like, wow, like you guys, I'm not saying you'll necessarily win the league, but you should be challenging for the title. Top 4, like Chelsea, should just be a given. Chelsea aren't really challenging for the title, but top 4 for them is an absolute given. Anything less is shocking. And what we're seeing now with Man United, I'm almost kind of thinking to myself, am I brave enough now to kind of publicly just say, do you know what? They're not a threat. They're just absolutely nothing we need to worry about, because they are sabotaging their own season. Man United literally are more interested in making sure Ralph Rangnick is not their manager next season than they are in terms of finishing in the Champions League spots. And as much as it's amazing to see, and I love to see it as an Arsenal fan, I think to myself, hold on a second, is this really going to continue? will Man United allow this to continue? Because of these players, where they're acting, this is going to basically cost them a hell of a lot, in terms of
cost them a Champions League spot.
Yeah, and also, like, do you know when you intentionally give up a few percent at the very, very top level, it's very hard to say, we'll just give up 3% or 4% or 5%. You just end up being way off the mark. You either play properly with intensity, or you're just not a threat. You're not a competitive threat. And that's what we're seeing at United right now. So I almost think that they could even end up being putting themselves at risk of the Champions League, the Europa League spots. Every single week that they are not playing up to task, other teams are just eking out an advantage over them. Like even West Ham, they drew. It's 1 point, that they got on the board there, but they're ahead of United on points. And they just, even though actually I think United have got a game in hand, but the point is they're making their task more and more difficult. So I almost kind of feel like now, because the biggest threat that I foresaw to Arsenal being Man United are actually not a threat based on the way they're sabotaging their own season, I think Arsenal will do it. I can't believe I'm saying it, but it's not because of what Arsenal have done in the transfer window or that we're even playing amazing football right now. It's because the other teams are a circus. They are a joke. And Arsenal are at least doing the right things, playing in the right way, even if it's not beautiful and effortless.
Yeah. Shaheen, we've got the best chance we've had, right? Because Spurs are on the wane, right? Yeah. They're not the team of old. I mean, even Conte's come out and said it in the press conference recently after the game. He said, this is a Spurs from a few years ago that I'd witnessed when I was in the Premier League managing Chelsea, I think it was, right? Then Man United are in disarray. Management side, the team itself, Spurs are in disarray. I don't think Conte will be here in the summer. It's a perfect opportunity. And let's be honest, it is in our hands. It is.
Yeah. And also,
I've got, let me just read out a couple of things. LT, thanks, man. Thank you for your support. I see you always in chat. Much
and a guy called Hamza. It's the first time he's catched us live today, by the way.
Yeah. It said YouTube did not get a notification. Can you guys let us know in the chat if you received notification or not? If you're watching on Arsenal Lounge or Mo's channel, either one, can you let us know if you received notification or not? And Wayne, another super chat. Thank you again, brother. Very kind. Thank you for your super chat. We're favorites right now based on points and schedule. It's on our hands. 1 match per week. Everyone else fighting for the top 4 in European. Has the European game or FA Cup, and I agree, and that's what I was going to say as well. I think it is ours to lose as well, because we've got a fairly decent fixture, 1 game a week, which is big, and I think that's probably why these guys didn't spend in January. But there's one thing that worries me, and that is a threat to our top 4 position, and that one thing, unfortunately, is called Mikel Arteta, right? Because one thing about Arteta is that he's always shown inconsistencies, okay? And that's what worries me. So he will go on, we'll beat Liverpool at home, we'll beat Man United at home, and then we'll lose to Brighton away, or we'll lose to Newcastle away, or something like this. Those are the kind of fixtures that will worry me, and I really want to see from him really good tactical and technical nous and good team selection, good game management. Wolves away win is one that I predicted a 0-0 draw, and it was an optimistic 0-0 draw. Well, we won the game, and I'm happy we won. This is what I'm expecting.
Do you not think he managed that game really well, though?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm expecting from him and the team, and him really, because he's the manager. It all comes from him. Team selection, training, mentality of the players, everything. They need to be on point. They're in a position that none of them have been in Arsenal for a while now. And that's top 4. And I think you said it earlier, Lev, or it was more, I'm not sure. The pressure alone might be a negative factor for them. And his job as manager is to make sure they're conditioned mentally in a way that they can deal with this pressure. So this is what I'm expecting from an inexperienced manager. Apart from that...
And Shaheen, also, not just an inexperienced manager, but this is what I worry about, and this is what I've been saying all season, that every single week we perform well. People say, oh, we're performing so well, and we've got the youngest squad in the league, youngest average age in the league.
Yeah.
And that counts for a lot more. That'll be a lot more testing in the second half of the season compared to the first half. When that pressure really, really hits, who can keep a cool head, who can sort of like not get too high with the highs, not too lows with the lows, and just keep on plugging away, play their natural game. It sounds simple. You go out, you play football, it should kind of be the same every week, but it's just not. It's not simple. Even, we've seen it time and time again. People kind of like look at a lead and say, oh, that's an insurmountable lead. And then all of a sudden that team has just got the jitters. It's really tough. And you have to kind of have been through it, in my opinion, and know how to manage that. And this team obviously hasn't been through it. So that is another obstacle in our way that we're going to have to try and overcome.
Yeah.
Shaheen, can I say something on what you just said though? I understand what you're saying with regards to Mikel Arteta, but we can't have it both ways. We can't be sitting here criticizing him when we're losing and saying it's his fault that we're losing, and then now we're in this position that we're doing well. He's the reason that it could go wrong. Because the thing I've got with it, and we are still yet to find out whether he is the right man for the job. But one thing I will say is we were expecting him to learn on the job. He was going to make mistakes along the way. But at the same time, he's made a lot of good decisions too. He got rid of a lot of dross. And whether we agree with what he did in the summer or in the recent window or not, he stood by his principles. We just found out that Icardi was offered to us. He clearly didn't think he was the right guy for us. He stood by his principles, whether we agree with it or not. We can't have it both ways, that we're losing, it's his fault. Oh, we're doing well despite Arteta, because the reason we're where he is, we have to give him some credit, is he's put these players in positions, he's played these tactics, he got us through the Wolves game, he got us the 3 points, he's all right, he's had a bit of luck, but you know what? Some of the best managers have luck. So when he's doing well, I have to say, when he's doing well, we have to say, maybe we're in the hunt for top 4 because of him. We don't know yet.
I understand that, Lev, but I'm just going based on what I've seen of him so far.
Yeah, I know.
Remember some time ago, we Man City at home, right? We lost that game. We deserved more out of that, right? Next game, put in a shit performance and we lose.
No, I understand that. And,
do you know what I mean? This is what worries me. This is what worries me about this situation.
But that was part of the battle. The players that were causing.
Also, guys, is that not true of like maybe 16, 17 teams in the league? You could even argue 18.
Yeah, but Mo, when you're going for top 4, right, and when you're making decisions that, we're not going to add to our team from January transfer window, you're taking a risk, right? And you're going for top 4, something that we haven't been able to do for how long it's been out of Champions League? About 4 or 5 years. It's a wonderful opportunity. We can go and do it. Surely, if he doesn't get top 4, and in a manner that I just described, that we're going to have an off performances, isn't it? You will need to be held responsible. This is Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head, Shaheen, there.
Yeah, well, this is Arsenal Football Club. I expect us, especially now we're seeing what's going on, to go for it. It's as if we've accepted that we're not a top 4 team anymore. But
if he doesn't make top 4 now, then he is at fault, because everything's in his favour to do it. It's the best chance we've had in a long time. So that's where he's gonna fall on his sword. He's gonna die on his sword on this situation. If he makes top 4, he deserves everything.
You know what? I've said this as well, Mo. I've said this. If we don't qualify for Champions League, okay, so we're gonna miss out on the money that is gonna probably come from the Champions League. That would affect the plans for summer transfer window. I've said this before. I know you guys disagreed with me to a certain extent. It's not the right time, loyalty, this and that, the other. I don't believe in loyalty in football anymore. And I think one of Saka, Martinelli, or Saliba will really, if somebody comes in for them with big money, they'll be off. They may look at this and they might look at this and think, well, maybe there's a chance for me to go to a team like a Liverpool or Man City, work with the top manager, challenge for the league, Champions League. I can develop my career, then stay in Arsenal, Europa League, novice manager. Just a thought.
Listen, Shaheen, on that, I totally agree with you. And what I would do, I'd reframe that conversation in a different way. and this is what everyone in the chat and you two guys as well, let me know your thoughts on this. If I was to say to you, when you look at Harry Kane and Heung-min Son at Tottenham, do you look at them and kind of think to yourself, like, you guys are wasting your careers?
Mm.
You know, they're brilliant players. Let's just be honest about it. And there's almost an element of frustration there where it's a case of like, why are you wasting your time at Tottenham? You know, when it came to Alan Shearer or Steven Gerrard, I know Liverpool enjoyed success. They won the Champions League and Steven Gerrard won the FA Cup and had incredible moments. But from a Premier League point of view, didn't win that. Alan Shearer, he went to Newcastle instead of Man United. But that was out of loyalty and love. And maybe in Steven Gerrard's case, some intimidation, but forget about that. But loyalty and love for their boyhood clubs. You know, does Son love Tottenham? Kane was an Arsenal fan. Does he love Tottenham? Why they're there? And my question then is that, you know, let's be realistic about Arsenal, yeah? Other people will look at players like Saka and Martinelli at Arsenal, how we look at Son and Kane at Tottenham, and say, man, come on, like you haven't won a major Premier League trophy or a Champions League trophy. You're not regularly competing at the top table in the Champions League. Stop wasting your careers. And I think they will absolutely leave. So
I agree.
Yeah, but I think we're in a far better position than Spurs are now. If you look at our team,
Yeah, but Tottenham will not come for them.
Yeah,
Liverpool will come, Man City will come,
you're
Real
saying,
Madrid might come.
No, I'm not saying Tottenham will sign them, but what I'm saying, Lev, is that it doesn't matter who's in a better position because there's Arsenal and Tottenham. If Saka becomes a top level player, which I think he basically is, or at least is very close to, there's teams better placed than Arsenal.
Yeah, there is, but we are definitely a team on the way up, right? I was
Are we left?
Arsenal, wait, let me speak. I was
but that's what you said about Tottenham.
Wait, I was expecting us to lose against Wolves. I was expecting it because that would be a typical Arsenal thing to do. We didn't do it, right? And if we can continue to go this way, and do you know what? For the first time, I will say this: Ben White's performance and Gabriel's performance in that game against Wolves was brilliant.
No, but listen, really sorry to interrupt you, but I'm not focused on one game here. There'll always be good games and bad games. Tottenham have had good games in the past, but when you look at them, you take a step back and you say, season after season after season, you don't achieve anything. You have good games and you get close and you do this and you do that, but you don't actually achieve anything. If right now Arsenal will hold on to Saka, will hold on to Martinelli, or Smith Rowe and all of that, but if in 3 years we're thereabouts but not achieving anything and, you know, just kind of taking part in a way and threatening to do something but never actually doing it, always the bridesmaid, then the conversations will start.
Yeah, of course. That's 3 years down the line. But I mean, looking at the way I see it right now, the type of signings we've attempted to get in, like Vlahovic and people like that, it looks like we're serious. If I don't think we're far off by adding a few more, I think we've got a very good chance of challenging. We need to feed the ambition.
That's but Lev, don't forget, one of the big reasons that we are where we are is because others have not performed. So it's not like we've come in and we've smashed it and we deserve to be in the top 4.
Whatever, we need a bit of luck. Everyone does.
Lev, listen, also you're saying we're serious because we bidded for Vlahovic, but then when we didn't get him, we did a complete 180 and we were completely unserious and we got no one and didn't add anyone and let.
No, I'm not saying I agree with that, Mo. I'm not saying I agree with that, but
how do you think the players feel? Don't you think Saka's going to say, if we miss out on top 4 this season by a couple of points, don't you think he's going to be sitting there thinking, man, why did they do that? The injury to Tomiyasu and Cedric really cost us if that happens. Or when White got suspended for 3 games and Gabriel was injured, we had to play Holding and Tierney. That really cost us, only if we had added. Don't you think that frustration will creep in? So I think it's a risk to our top 4 chances and also a risk to the message that we're sending to players. We know players in the past have left clubs because of a lack of ambition. Robin Van Persie.
Yeah, it has happened. But like the way I see it, I'm not denying any of this, and I wish we did get someone in the summer, and I hope in the January window, and I hope it doesn't come back to bite us in the ass. But we don't know 100% what's going on. We've just heard that we're testing Martinelli in the number 9 role now, right? So there's another way of looking at it, which is he is saying to the players he's got right now, I have belief in you. Martinelli, I'm going to play you up top. We've all been wanting him to play him up top. it might work out. I'm not saying it's going to, but right now it's a positive vibe, and we should be keeping it that way. That's what I'm
absolutely.
saying.
No,
We're
it
doing
is,
well.
and
We're
I'm
doing
not
well.
trying to. It is, Lev. I'm not trying
It's
to go on
you.
a
It's you,
negative one.
Shaheen. You've gone back to
No,
negative,
but
Shaheen.
it's just reality, man. And you know what? I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna say this, right? I actually don't think we were really in for Vlahovic. I think this was just a smoke screen for fans
For
to be
what?
busy on, not moan until end of the window, and then we say, well, we tried, but we didn't
No,
really.
hasn't it
You know,
been
he wanted to go
verified that we
no,
went
man.
in
No.
for him?
If you're serious about a player like Vlahovic, yeah,
Yeah.
if it doesn't go through, right, there's a plan B. You go for that. Also,
Not if you don't believe there's anyone
listen,
good enough.
No. Don't forget. We did a show with Fabrizio Romano beginning of December. Okay, and he told us this boy has no intention of coming to Arsenal. His agent is not even going to pick up Arsenal's phone call. His exact words. You were on that show, you know.
It doesn't mean we didn't try, though.
Well, no. Listen, it's all right. You know, we can try knowing he's not going to come. That will keep the fans busy. Will keep everybody quiet. There's not going to be any pressure. There's no protest. None of these fan moaning, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh, we're going for Vlahovic." You know he's not going to come. All right.
Maybe
if you
we
really
thought we could convince
hold
him,
on, Lev.
Shaheen.
Hold on one second. If you're desperate for a striker, right, you're willing to spend £70 million on him. You know you need a striker. It falls through. What do? You leave it. You say, "Oh, well, we tried. Move on." Or you have other targets. You have plan B. You have plan C.
Listen,
you know what?
I wouldn't have paid 75 million for Isak. Would you?
No, no, I wouldn't. I don't think we were ever in for him anyway.
But look,
So we
guys,
were in for no one.
we don't really know the answer to that question. You know, all I'm saying, when we're talking about ambition and that sort of thing, and these star players, I really, really hope that the position that we're in right now, we go and cement that fourth place spot and make it happen. Because I don't want that moment to even arrive at our club when certain players think we're not achieving anything here. For me, this season now, the remaining 16 games are the start of the future of Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah.
Because we've been out of the Champions League for a long time. And this is the major building block to go and achieve much, much better things now. Let's get into the Champions League once more. And once we're there, let's invest that money wisely and stick there. The hierarchy have gambled a little bit, but hopefully it will pay off. And if we go from strength to strength, I'd love to see us in a couple of years' time challenging for the title, and Saka and Martinelli look at the league and they say, there's not many better clubs for me to be at. Right now, that's not the case.
100%.
You know, you can't say City and
I hope
Liverpool
for that too.
are.
Could I just say,
Yeah,
right?
I hope for this too, but whether that will happen or not is a different thing.
Well, look at all the other teams that are in transition. Spurs are in transition. They've lost their old the old backline and all that. The team's in a different phase now. They're struggling. Man United, since they've had Sir Alex Ferguson gone, they're struggling. They're in transition and they're a mess. So when you start looking at it a little bit more and you look at us, it seems like we know a little bit more what we're doing. Whether or not we agree with the direction, I think the fact that we've stuck with a game plan has put us in this position. I think it's a positive
That's a
thing.
fair point,
but
I'm not really concerned about those clubs. I'm concerned about us and what we think we should be doing. But moving on from this topic, Arteta comes across as somebody who is very disciplined, who wants certain things. You know, the words non-negotiables have been branded around, and he doesn't put up with certain things. That's what we're led to believe, right? So how come we getting so much red card under this guy, Mo?
Well, because,
with no repercussions for the players.
No, listen, discipline works two ways. You know, he's very disciplined, and with that discipline comes work rate and, you know, doing kind of what you need to do, some of the dark arts. Look at Man United. I'll point to that game again against Southampton, yeah? There was zero discipline in that team. And they could have played for a month. They wouldn't have got a red card. No one gave a damn. It's what I call sort of uphill defending, downhill attacking, where, you know, the nicer elements of the game, when you want to arrive on the edge of the box and like leather a shot, you have all the energy in the world to do that because you'll be on the highlight reel. It looks good. You get you improve your statistics. But the dirty work, the tracking back, stopping a counter attack, you know, you're busting a gut for 40 yards just to get a toe on the ball to knock it out of play so your team can get their shape back. That doesn't make the highlights. That's not fun. So that's all of that stuff is as if you're running uphill. All of the fun stuff, the assists, the goals, all of that stuff, taking free kicks, that's all as if you're running downhill. Everything's made easier. The fact that Man United had zero discipline doing the difficult stuff, the boring stuff, means that they weren't putting their boot in or whatever. Under Arsenal, under Arteta, the discipline is not just off the pitch, it's on the pitch as well. Players will run, they will sprint, they will graft. And when you're doing that and you're desperate to get that foot in and to stop attacks, sometimes you will obviously, commit more fouls. So I haven't done this, but I reckon if we were to go and do an analysis of tackles and fouls committed by Arsenal and Man United and that sort of stuff, it will be a given that we're miles ahead of United. And that is all because of the discipline. Man United is optional. You lose the ball, do what you like. Track back, don't track back, it's up to you. Ralph Rangnick has got no discipline over that team. Arteta has. So that's something I'm not going to criticize him for. We do need to start kind of putting this on the players, because Arteta clearly does not say to the players, go and act like idiots out there, go and get red cards. So if I'm Mikel Arteta and I look at the Martinelli incident, I'm thinking to myself, I've told him, make sure you track this person, make sure you cover this channel, make sure you support your left back. What I haven't said to him is go and shoulder barge people in the back. All Martinelli needed to do after sprinting 40, 50 yards was to sprint another 5 or 10 and get goal side. Didn't even have to make a challenge, but instead he went and did the silly thing. And we see that week in, week out with different players, with Granit Xhaka and, so forth, doing silly things. So I'm not going to blame Arteta on this one, actually. I'm going to say it's the players. You know how to tackle, do it, or other than Granit Xhaka, do it properly.
Can you get that Joe Mr. Take note off, idiot?
Man. People just have got nothing better to do.
Got nothing better to do, man. Oh, yeah, that's someone who's not got a girlfriend on Valentine's Day, isn't it? All right, let's look. Can I just say something? Right. Regards to the red card situation, Mo's hit the nail on the head, by the way, with regards to Martinelli. When he did it, my first reaction was, what is he doing? Right? What is he doing? But is there prejudice against Arsenal by refs? 100%. I don't care what anyone says anymore. I'm not.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yes, there is.
No, do you think do you think that refs have got something against Arsenal?
What? Can I not finish what I was saying? Yeah. No. All right.
No. Go on. Sorry. Go on.
No. Go back to no. Sorry. No.
Go on. Finish off.
What I'm saying is, look, there is prejudice, and if you could go back in history, we've had loads of prejudice. And come on, there's not one fan in here that watches an Arsenal game and doesn't think to themselves, "Oh my God!" Like, if we give this referee any excuse, he's going to send off a player. We've seen it. You feel it throughout the whole game. I don't think there's any game I don't watch where I think to myself, all we need to do is give this referee any excuse and he's going to jump on us. Now, don't get me wrong. Xhaka has done some ridiculous things that, has done my head in, and some of it was deserved. But how many have we gone through needless penalties given? Even back to Luiz, I think someone clipped his shin when they were running through and he didn't even do anything. Penalty, VAR decisions overturned, not given in our favour. You go right the way back to the Invincibles when Reyes was getting battered. Reyes was getting battered all game. We don't even touch Rooney. Sol Campbell moves his leg away from Rooney. It's a penalty, nailed on. I mean, the Robin Van Persie situation, Champions League, you don't hear the whistle go, he kicks the ball second. Like, it must have been a second in it.
All right, listen, Lev.
We could go on.
Come on. This is all way too old.
No. Look, it is old, but right up to modern times, I do believe there's been a prejudice. Are we stupid as players to know? We should know that don't give an excuse. Yeah. We should know that. And that's where we're wrong. We should know, do not give the refs any excuse, right? However, that's where we're wrong.
Talking about refs and everything, right? Let's talk about this Martinelli red card. I've never seen something like this. I've watched football for many years, different countries, different. This was a complete surprise to me. I didn't even know this was possible.
Can I jump in there, Shaheen?
You can jump in there, Mo.
It does not matter what you have seen or what you thought was possible. It does not matter what I have seen and what I thought was possible. Remember when Liverpool conceded a goal that hit a beach ball? And went
I remember that. Against Sunderland.
Had you ever seen that before? I'd never seen that before. Doesn't matter.
Oh, but more, this is...
And the game does not care for what we have seen. it's in the rules, so fine, it can be done. But the point is twofold. I personally don't think the first one is a definite yellow card. I think the second one is, but not the first one. People say he pushed him over. He didn't push him over. He stuck his hand up. It was a bit silly, but arguable for it being a yellow. I don't know if everyone will agree with me on that. But the second thing is the referee could have applied a bit of common sense. And referees, they kind of say that, there's no common sense in football. There is common sense in football. Even in that same game, the referee applied common sense. Watch the first half again. Granit Xhaka commits a foul that's a yellow card all day long. But because it was like one of the first 2-3 fouls of the game, he didn't get a yellow card. Because referees apply common sense. That if they start getting out the yellow card that early, then it's inevitable there's going to be red cards. You watch Champions League games tomorrow and on Wednesday. Same thing will happen. It happens every single game. So common sense does apply. But Mikel Arteta hit the nail on the head when he said that was a red card the referee had to want to give. Michael Oliver, he felt like, do you know when referees feel good about themselves when they play the advantage and a goal is scored? They're kind of like, oh, good, that shows that I did the right thing. And it's like, a good display of officiating. I thought that's what Michael Oliver thought he was doing. A good display of officiating, that I'm observant and I noticed that and I applied the rules and all that. The reality is it was a bit silly and unnecessary. But, and I have to say this, and people aren't going to like this, but according to the letter of the law, fine. If he deemed them to be 2 yellow cards, he's entitled to do it.
So you disagree with Lev in this case that Martinelli was to blame, not the ref?
Can I say something on that, though, very quickly?
Mo. Hold on, Mo. So that's what you're saying, but Martinelli was to blame, not the ref?
Both.
Okay. Lev, sorry.
How can we argue there's no prejudice just from that phrase itself? That is a red card a referee would have to want to give. That says to me the referee already has in his mind a prejudice and doesn't need any excuse to give a particular team a red card, in this case, Arsenal, and it happens far too often for my liking. I'm not going to hold back anymore. It does happen a lot. Recent examples of stamps that our players have been sent on for. All right, you want to talk about recent ones? Elbows from Mane, stamps on some of our players, stamps in other games that our players had done less, less.
Remember that Crystal Palace foul on Saka? Do you remember?
Yeah. So how can we argue there's no prejudice if someone's saying that's a red that a ref's got to want to give?
Yeah, good point.
Well, that's a fair point, man. It's difficult to argue with these points, but you both have got points, and I think Michael Oliver could have just booked Martinelli. The fact that he went to follow the rules to the T, something that is not normally done, is questionable.
Yeah, and you know what the thing is? My issue is not the red card in itself, because fine, it's the rules of the game. But again, we always say that it's the complete lack of bloody consistency. You see it all the time. It was one of the games after the Arsenal Wolves game. Can't remember who it was, but they committed Joel Linton, playing for Newcastle, committed 3 fouls on the same player and got 1 yellow. I think it was. So that's 3 fouls. You got 1 yellow. Martinelli 2 fouls, 2 yellows. And what? Because it was different players. The rules don't say that, by the way. Surely then, if you apply the letter of the law. So this is where it starts feeling a bit annoying for Arsenal fans, where, referees can hide behind the letter of the law, but then why is that not applied to other teams? Bruno Fernandes flipping through a punch at someone. Yeah. Where's VAR? Where's letter of the law? Just because he didn't connect properly, he's off target with everything these days, even the punches he throws. But that's what gets annoying for me. But amongst all of this, I have always been reluctant throughout all the time I've been speaking about football to only look at referees. Where you can't do anything about it, fine. But Martinelli could have just worked that little bit harder and not been silly on both occasions in a way, actually. But especially the second one, just don't barge him in the back. You're giving away a foul. For me, that
was stupid.
Yeah,
that was stupid.
It is also still partly in our control as well. And so it's interesting. We were saying that's a red card the referee has got to want to give. Martinelli's foul is a foul that the player has got to want to commit.
Yeah.
Listen, that's exactly where we're at fault. Is in my mindset as a manager, if I was Arteta, I'll tell them to think, don't give the referee any excuse. They're looking for it. And that's how we feel. And if that's how we feel, there's surely some sort of prejudice. But we just got to be smarter about it.
Yeah.
Let's look ahead to Brentford game. Obviously, we've got about 5 days until the game is on because it's Saturday, 3:00 kickoff. I think should be a routine win, unless any of you guys disagree.
Oh, getting a bit cocky now. Routine win
cocky.
now, yeah.
Yeah, well, listen, if we can't beat Brentford at home,
No,
then
you're
you
right.
can't really go for top four.
I expect that. I expect it now.
Should we get some predictions going?
The last time we met, obviously a lot has changed since then. But
Yeah.
no, I don't know.
Should we get a prediction?
Oh
Lev?
God, I think
Well,
we will.
Mo, do you want to get the book out, the old book? Actually, let's see what was last week's result, shall we?
Well, we already know. I said
No,
1-0.
You got 0 points. I've got 0 points.
I got 0 points. So Lev said 1-0 Wolves.
Hold on, what did Tom say?
Tom said
3-1 Arsenal.
So he's got 1 point.
Okay. So us
Yeah,
three have got 0 and Tom's got 1.
Yeah.
Welcome to the 0 club, boys.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm gonna go. What's the prediction? Also, we also predicted where we're going to finish the season as well, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Now we're all expecting top 4, but we all... Mo, what did you say? 7th?
6th.
6th.
And honestly,
What did Lev say?
I said top 4. I'm sure I said top 4.
No, you said 6th, mate.
Oh, no. What did I say? I thought I said 6th as well.
Listen, I don't care. I want to be wrong.
What did Tom say? Hold on.
Let him prove me wrong.
Tom said 5th as well.
All right. So if we finish top 4, no one will get points on that. It's all right.
Look,
What about this week, Brentford? What are you saying, Lev?
Arsenal 2-0 home win.
Mo?
2-0.
Because he played it safe mode, doing the same one as me. So if I get points, he gets points. If I don't, he don't.
No interest in any games right now. I think this is the revenge mission. And I think we will get revenge for the
Yes.
No, we will win. I think we will win, but it's the scoreline.
I'll change mine to 3. I'll change mine to 3-0. How about that?
You don't have to.
2-1 Arsenal.
No, I want to.
And I think Tom said 2-0 Arsenal as well.
Right. So
Don't care what Tom said. He's not here.
No, I asked him earlier.
Casanova.
All right. Cool. So
2-0 Arsenal, that's what he said.
all predicting a
Can
win.
you guys write for us in the comments your prediction as well and in the chat as well? And please hit the like button. We've got about just over 300 people watching and only 50 likes. Please, guys, hit the like button. You know, it will help us get the video around. And you know, if you're liking this, you're watching us, please hit the like. It help us. Subscribe to, obviously, Arsenal Lounge. Subscribe to Mo's channel as well, just to make sure that you don't miss out on any contents.
I mean, just reminding everyone, we're kind of saying 2-0 and all this sort of stuff. That goal that we scored against Wolves was our first since New Year's Day, the goal that we scored against Man City.
And interestingly enough, Mo, still was not scored by a striker.
Yeah, I was going to say.
If did not score that, that would have been a 0-0 draw.
We're talking about the Lacazette miss. No, we haven't even mentioned that.
No.
Like, I mean, come on. That was bread and butter. We're 1-0 up. If you've put that in, it's 2-0. It's over, right? These are the things that do worry me in regards to the transfer window in Jan. But
not even on target.
Not even a curl.
Liverpool
What
at
curl
home.
in Shaheen's hair?
Liverpool at home. Lacazette gets a chance, doesn't put it on target. Burnley at home. Lacazette gets a chance in the box, not on target. Wolves gets a chance, not on target. I'm getting sick of it personally.
Can I ask you guys something? And it's one of those yes or no things. Aubameyang would have finished that, right?
Every time, every show.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, well, he wasn't Shaheen before he got dropped. But historically, you look at him, time at Arsenal, time before that, you say, yeah, he would.
Okay. Lev?
Yeah, well, I would expect him to. Defo. That would have been a trademark finish for him. He would have put a card
We'll be
on
going for about 49 minutes now. So in about 2-3 minutes time, if you guys want to put any question to Lev, myself, or Mo on the comments, in about 2 minutes time, I'm going to start reading out those questions. So please get your question out in the comments to Lev, myself, or Mo. And we'll spend the last 5-10 minutes just answering your questions.
Can I ask a question first then?
Go on.
So Arsenal Brentford 85 minutes gone, 0-0. That Lacazette chance, or like, let's say a chance where you expect a player to score, comes to a player, an Arsenal player in the box. Who do you want it to fall to? Who are you?
Can I have one or two?
Right now.
Can I have one or two?
One, just the one. Who's the player you want it to fall to at Arsenal right now?
I was going to say Pepe or Martinelli.
Pepe?
He doesn't even start.
Pepe can finish, man. Yeah, but that's what I was just saying. Pepe will probably not be on the pitch. So, I mean, Martinelli is suspended, so maybe Pepe will get a game. Or Emil Smith-Rowe may come in.
Well, that's a good point. He is suspended, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be Smith-Rowe. So this is why I'm asking the question. Typically, I think people say Martinelli, he's not available.
Are you generally speaking, or specifically this
specific game? People saying in the chat, Colin said Martinelli, he ain't there.
Martinelli is suspended.
Yeah.
I would say Pepe.
ESRs are coming up there.
Oh, Smith-Rowe. I'd have Smith-Rowe.
Not Saka? No one going for Saka?
He has a tendency to miss at crucial times.
Pepe is a good finisher, man. Pepe can finish.
But he probably won't play.
Maybe he will get a game now.
It's going to be.
Do you know he made the AFCON 11, the final 11, AFCON team of the tournament.
He played all right in AFCON, man. I don't know. Listen, it's one of those things, Pepe as well, that he hasn't been getting a game for a lot. When was the last time we saw Pepe play a game? A long time ago, man.
Do you think it's another Aubameyang situation? Do you think he's made his decision on him? He wants to get rid of him?
I think so.
Even look at against Wolves. There's 9 minutes to go. He brings on Nketiah for Lacazette, not Pepe.
Oh my God, Eddie Murphy instead of Pepe. Do you know what I mean?
You think to yourself, like, he just does not trust Pepe. I think those sort of games when you're 1-0 up away from home, you just need to hold that lead. All you need to do is your players to do the right things, to do the hard work. You don't have to do anything fancy or special. So I think this becomes about who a manager trusts. And it's very clear he does not trust Pepe.
Decent
questions. Let's go through questions. Guys, get your questions to Mo, Lev, or myself on the chats, and we're going to come to this. So Damien is asking, do you think we over-celebrated, as Cody and Neves said? I personally did not think so. Lev?
Ridiculous statement. Like, you're down to 10 men away to Wolves, one of your competitors for the 4th spot. Why wouldn't you celebrate? I thought it showed solidarity, and I don't care if they didn't like it.
Okay. Mo?
Well, I mean, I didn't notice anything wrong with the celebration, so I didn't think so. Only after Ruben Neves said it did I even consider it a talking point. I didn't think it was silly, but this is what I said in my match reaction after the game. I wish everyone that that's watching this that problem in life, that people criticize the way you celebrate your successes. Long may it continue. I'm happy if every single week we have players saying, "Oh, they celebrated too hard because we've won the game." I'm happy.
Shaheen, can I just comment on what Why Not's put up there? Yes, a very Spursy celebration. Yeah, we can't have it both ways in the sense of like our team shows solidarity and they're enjoying winning and getting results, and we complain that they're celebrating. Like, I just don't get it. It's like ridiculous. Can they do nothing right?
Just going through questions, and please get your question on the chat so I can ask you guys. Expedici, I think that's how you pronounce that. It says, will Saka Martinelli if Arsenal don't qualify for Champions League or Europa League at least? Yes or no, please, guys? Mo?
No, not this season.
Lev?
No.
Isha says, why hasn't anyone talked about possibility that Arteta's system doesn't allow for strikers to thrive regardless of new chances we provide? Lev?
Because I don't think that's the thing. I think he's finding the right striker. The way he wants to play, he has to find the right striker that fits the system. It's not about playing without a striker.
Okay. This one's for you, Mo. GB says, question. Of the 5 teams in the race for top 4, West Ham, Man United, Arsenal, Wolves, and Spurs, where do you predict each team finishing at the end of season? That's a bit long one, man.
Right. I'm just going to just freestyle it. Arsenal, West Ham, Tottenham, Man United, Wolves.
Tottenham above United, yeah? Whew.
Man United are a joke. They don't. Tottenham,
so
I feel
Spurs.
like probably want to finish 4th. Man United don't.
Yeah, but Man United could. Spurs definitely can't.
Lev, this one's for you. Do you guys
Do you guys are
Us
saying we have
saying we have a disciplinary issue?
if we give the ref the
You guys, I
excuse?
think you said, are you guys saying we have disciplinary issues given the ref excuses to red card us? Just like we used to say Arsenal are soft, allow the corners to break legs with no consequences. Lev.
Do you guys saying we have a discipline? Look, we do have an disciplinary issue to some point. You know, we already know there's certain repeat offenders, but there's also some poor decisions. I mean, look, the Premiership overall, the refereeing has been awful this season. I mean, the last 2 seasons. So,
okay, Mo. Hughes says, do you think ESR suits left mid more than CAM?
Absolutely not. Emil Smith Rowe is not blessed with raw pace. He's blessed with deceptive pace. And a lot of that is about his body shape, how he receives the ball, how good his touch is. And also one of his massive strengths is just passing and moving, always being in space to receive the ball. He's a cam. Now, the reason he plays left wing over Martin Ødegaard sometimes is because he's got a better ability to eat up ground than Martin Ødegaard does, in my opinion. So that's why he's forced out there. But no, he's a cam.
Okay. Omar says, did you see what Wolves Twitter account posted? Yes, I did. And I think maybe they will regret that comes the game at Emirates. Lev, do you think Arteta will give William Saliba a chance next season, or is he just not having him?
100%. I do,
100%
yeah.
what?
I do. I think he's going to give him a chance.
Well, Marseille
Mo?
on
Richard,
the Saliba thing, Marseille have got a transfer ban, haven't they, anyway? So
apparently everything that was agreed before, like Guendouzi and that, it will go through.
No, there's been rumours of Real Madrid and teams like that, though, apparently.
Yeah. Richard says, will Kroenke remember us now that he's won Super Bowl?
Even if Stan won't, Josh will, unfortunately. So, we're stuck with him.
Okay. Will Arsenal get top 4 this season? Yes or no?
Yes.
Big change since last time.
Well, they proved me wrong, so I'm going with it.
Don't worry about it. Says, why is it easy to blame Arteta these days? The fact that we're in top 4 is huge for this team and Arteta.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. He's exceeded expectation.
If he gets top 4, he deserves a contract. If he gets top 4.
You would give him a contract if he gets top 4, Lev?
Yes. I think he deserves. If he gets top 4, maybe not even giving a contract, let's see what he does the season after. But he definitely deserves to stay on and keep building that team. Top 4, who was the last person that got us top 4? Wenger.
Arsene Wenger. Would you give him a contract more if he finishes top 4?
I personally wouldn't give him a contract, but if he does get a contract, I won't oppose it. So I would wait till the next season. But for me, what does Champions League qualification represent? For me, it represents stage 2 in Arteta's journey of bringing Arsenal back to the top. So if stage 2 starts with a new contract, I'm fine with that. You have to have some proper achievement where you can say, right, now it starts. And so be it. If he gets that proper achievement of Champions League qualification, fine.
How are people still in the chat really anti? Listen, I'm not anti, as you know, I'm not anti-Arteta. I'm not Arteta in or out. I'm Arsenal win. That's the thing. And if he's the right man for the job and he's getting us the results, then I'll back him. But I don't understand people in here are still saying like he deserves to be managing Derby County and things like that. I mean, like, if you look at the likes of United and Spurs, who have had far more experienced managers, you could argue that Arteta's doing all right.
But Lev, he's not likable, is he? Mikel Arteta.
But he's not there to be liked. Was Sir Alex Ferguson likable?
But that's the answer to your question. I'm not saying it matters, but I think that's why a lot of people don't want to give him credit.
Well, he's got to make tough decisions, Mo, doesn't he?
Yeah, but look, someone like Jurgen Klopp, he seems very likable to me. Let's say Nuno Espirito Santo seems like quite a likable manager. Claudio Ranieri, likable. Arteta's not likable.
Is Klopp likable to you now, Mo?
Yeah, I think Klopp is a likable.
I don't like him anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
But I'm just saying, it's just like,
yeah,
I
fair
don't
enough.
know.
Look, it's each to their own. But I think generally Klopp is regarded as likable, But anyway, my point is, with Mikel Arteta, when he goes and alienates players, you get certain fans of any club who have like a disproportionate loyalty to individual players at times. So if you go and do something to that player, they might even go as far as like almost wanting the team to not play well because that player is absent, and weird little dynamics like that. And Arteta has alienated so many players that naturally there's going to be a large proportion of fans that will never really like him too much. So I think we're going to have to always deal with that with Arteta.
I just want to
get the credit he deserves.
Okay, I just want to round up this question thing that people ask this question. One last question, which I think is a really good question. OB says, what will Arteta's next trophy be? Lev?
Well, top 4 is not exactly a trophy, is it? So I don't know. FA Cup maybe, something like that. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I mean, I'd take top 4 as a trophy. I would take top 4 over any trophy this season. I said it before and I'll say it again. This season for me is about getting into top 4. Anything else doesn't matter. We've won FA Cups. We've won Carabao Cups. I know everyone loves trophies, but those trophies are not doing it for me. I want us to get back into the echelons of the Champions League.
And the FA Cup was the answer.
No, top 4 will be my answer. That's my trophy.
Top 4 is not a trophy.
All right, FA Cup then. Fuck's sake.
Let Mo?
Sorry,
Emirates Cup.
FA Cup.
Emirates Cup.
Is that still running?
Yeah. Perry, thank you very much for your super chat, man. As always, thank you for your support. I know you're always in the chat. Big up Mo. He was my favorite pundit on AFTV before. And he was a great addition to the Arsenal. That was a great show, lads. Thank you very much.
Perry.
And thank you for your support, as always. Guys, we've been doing this for about an hour. It's Valentine's evening. We're going to let Mr. Haida move on. And me and Lev, we need to...
Why'd you make that sound like me and Lev doing Valentine's? No. Me and Shaheen live in totally different houses.
Yes.
I'm going off to do my own thing for Valentine's with like...
Shaheen. Why are you panicking for, Lev?
I'm just making it straight. I'm just making it straight out there for everybody.
What are you stressing for? It's all right. No one said nothing. You're bringing it on to yourself, mate.
Just checking, innit? Just checking.
Yeah.
I was like, where is this going? But, you know.
I thought I'd nip it in the bud. Nip it early. Just for
anyway. Mo, final thoughts?
I just bring on Brentford. Every single match day, I'm looking forward to it now. And I haven't looked at the fixtures, actually. I'm focused on Champions League, some really good ties there. But I'm looking forward to next weekend already, seeing the other teams drop points and Arsenal hopefully getting a victory on the board.
Good stuff. Lev?
Man, I'm just happy that everything's going our way right now. I don't want anything to change. Let's just keep these happy vibes. Let's get these next 3 points against Brentford. I just think this is a great opportunity for us. I really think something might happen here. So stay positive. I'm going to revert back to being positive. I love you guys, the loungers. Thank you for interacting with us again and giving us your time on Valentine's Day. Love to you guys too.
Yeah, thank you again from me as well. And I hope we can carry on and we can finish in the top 4 and we can just get a bit of momentum going, but some good results. And at the end of the day, we all, whether we like Arteta, we don't like Arteta, regardless of what we think, we all want the club to win. So let's hope Arsenal will pick up points. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for giving us your time. It's Valentine's Day, I know. And if you're due to go out now, have a wonderful evening. If you were out and now you're watching this on replay, we hope you had a good time. And subscribe to Arsenal Lounge, subscribe to Mo's channel. Please hit the like on the video, and we will see you guys very soon. Have a wonderful evening.